it's going to open up Pandora's box. But I will say this. I do believe players that sign now, like Najee, should not be eligible now, but should have to sit out and come back in next year. It's just a slippery slope. And I agree with people like Tom Izzo. I don't like it at all.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Sometimes those coaches do get the axe regardless of what the owner said just a few short weeks ago. And sometimes, Joe, you can't have it both ways. Like a Jets fan, you probably want them to tank. They're doing a really good job of that by not even being competitive at this point. But at the same time, you sort of want it to be, yeah, we're not competitive winning games, but it looks like we have a future. We might have found our quarterback. We got a good foundation. Nothing is going right.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
I mean, they couldn't get the Arizona State coach to come out. They couldn't get the BYU coach to leave their job. I mean, it's just very odd, I feel, when we watch this whole thing play out and try and really understand what happened here with Michigan not being able to make some of the splashier hires that they thought they were going to be able to make.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Crosby has now left the team, by the way. He's pissed. Anyway, look at he's angry. He wants to play. He doesn't like what they're doing here. There's all sort of speculation.
This might be the final straw, George, for him there.
Like,
I don't know why he stays. Yeah, I know. The thing is, he's got a Raider freaking tattoo. Like, the guy loves the Raiders. Like, he really does love playing for the Raiders. But and now, like you said, he's not happy about this.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome to the first ever Craig Carton show of the new year, 2026. Although on my paper here, it says January 5th, 2025. Someone's getting fired on the first show. By the way, this is the last day that you're allowed to say Happy New Year to anybody. And it's only because it's a Monday. For a lot of people, first day back in the work week. Yeah. That guy right there is Tyron A. Johnson. So I'll say Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
Glad you made it back for 2026.
Me
not
too.
2025.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
But it's the little things that matter in life. And someone on my staff is not paying attention to the little things. Maybe because they have a picture of a very large woman. I don't know. All right, look, tons of football to get to. Why don't we start with the great game last night, final game of the regular season, a game that gets the Pittsburgh Steelers, not the Baltimore Ravens, into the playoffs. And I want to quell something right out of the gate, if I may, because there's a narrative out there, and it comes from Joe Burrow fans. It comes from Josh Allen fans. It comes from Patrick Mahomes fans. It comes from media members who also curry favor to those three guys. And it's about Lamar Jackson. Because Lamar Jackson is taking a beating right now that once again, you can't trust Lamar Jackson in what amounts to a playoff game. Lamar Jackson's not the reason the Baltimore Ravens lost last night to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Obviously, you've got a rookie kicker who was great this year, only missed a couple kicks all year, and then with the playoffs on the line, a 44-yarder, whoop, like I kicked it or Tyrone kicked it. Lamar Jackson's the guy that made the plays in the second half to match every Steelers score, and then after the Steelers get their touchdown and they miss the extra point, it was Lamar Jackson who made the plays to get the Ravens into what should have been easy field goal territory. So explain to me how in the world we can look at last night's game as, well, there you go, can't trust Lamar Jackson.
Well, it's because they decided that before the game started.
Yes.
If Baltimore loses for whatever reason, we're not going to watch the game and analyze it. We're going to blame him because it's easy.
Right. And by the way, if you look at the three big losses now for Lamar Jackson, there's the Kansas City game in which Zay Flowers has the ball ripped out of his hand right at the goal line.
Yep.
There's the Mark Andrews drops and fumbles in the game against the Bills. And then there's last night's game where the rookie kicker, Loop is his name, right?
Yeah.
He misses the 44-yard field goal wide right. You could make the argument that if Lamar had played better earlier in the games or didn't have a couple turnovers, which he did in those other games, yes, the outcome is different. That is a fair conversation. But to now come up with the kind of like the I don't even know what the word I'm looking for is, but to now claim that he's not a big game quarterback. Look, he's not Patrick Mahomes. That's fair.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. I don't think Joe Burrow's better than him. No. I know Josh Allen's not better than him. He's a great quarterback who, yes, could have played better in big spots, but he put his team in a position to win a football game yesterday.
Yeah.
By the way, that's what Tom Brady did.
That's how.
right?
That's how the legend of Tom Brady started with him driving down in field goal
And
range
Adam
against the
Vinatieri
Rams.
making a
Actually
kick.
making the kick.
Right.
If he misses the kick there, and then the Rams win, totally different deal.
Correct.
But because Vinatieri made a kick, Tom Brady becomes a legend.
By the way, Joe Burrow doesn't go to his only Super Bowl without a rookie kicker making big kick after big kick after big kick. But for some reason, with Lamar Jackson, he's judged and he's graded differently. Has he played great? No, he has not played great in every big-time game. Has he played good enough for them to win if somebody else could have made a play? The answer is yes.
Of course.
The answer is yes. And I'll tell you something else. From a pure football fan standpoint, I don't gamble, as you know. I had no rooting interest in last night's game. I would have much rather seen the Baltimore Ravens in the wild card round. Well, I guess it is the wild card round, even though they're division winners, than the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Of course.
And I know you get DK back, and that does change your offense. And we'll see. My expectation for the Steelers now in the first round of the playoffs is they're getting blown out.
Yep.
That's my expectation.
I think the Texans will destroy them.
The Houston Texans defense is the most dominant defense we've seen in this league for the last 3 months, and there's nobody close. And the one thing that we know for a fact the Steelers don't do well is get their quarterback out of the pocket.
No.
He's going to be a cigar store Indian there, and the Texans are going to have 6 or 7 sacks against them. Can the Steelers win? Of course they can. Will they win? Not a shot that they win this game against what's, for most people's money, the hottest team in the league and the best defense in the league. Now, could the Ravens have beaten them? 100% yes.
Yeah.
Because you have a quarterback who can get out of the pocket and make plays outside the pocket.
And he's been 1 week healthier. He's coming back from a hamstring last night, and
Right.
It's not an excuse. That's a fact. He had missed games, and this was his first game back. So while he's working out the kinks, he played well enough for them to win, and they would have been scary.
Yeah, and then there's another part of last night's game. And by the way, a great football game.
Yeah, it was.
Like, if you like football the way we all like football, and obviously if you're watching this show, you love football, last night's game saved us from a horrendous Sunday. And we knew going into it was going to be a bad Sunday. The 2 biggest games were on Saturday and then Sunday night.
Yep.
And we got the 2 games we expected on Saturday. We got garbage for the majority of the afternoon
Yep.
on Sunday. And then you had a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Like, you had playoff football, the back and forth, the missed extra point by Boswell. He had not missed a single extra point all year. The missed field goal, of course, by Lupi, who only missed 3 kicks the entire year, and none of them from 44 yards or less.
Unbelievable.
Was just great theater, great drama, and why the NFL is so badass. For all the stuff they do that we complain about, all the official crap that we complain about, last night's game was our drug. Last night's game was the reason why we say to our wives and our kids, not now, honey, not now, kids, talk to daddy tomorrow. Because last night was awesome.
It really was. Now, unfortunately, it was ended with a kick. There's this new sentiment out there that we should feel bad for the kicker that missed. That's a very popular thing online.
Yeah.
Do you buy it?
Well, do I blame the kicker for the game? Yes, I do.
I do too.
Do I feel for him? Yes, I've got a heart. I feel for him. He's a young kid. He's a rookie. And later in the show, we'll show you some of the nonsense he and his girlfriend and fiance are dealing with online. It's all the expected trolls from their mom's basements, you know, like death threats and you know, attacks and all that stuff. So do I feel for the kid? Yes, and I tell you why.
Okay.
Beyond the fact that I've got a heart, and beyond the fact that, you know, he's being blamed for the Ravens obviously not advancing into the playoffs. He did something that Travis Kelce doesn't do. The kid showed up after the game and had about a 15-minute Q&A with the reporters and owned it. And I've got great respect for that. The kid didn't duck away. The team didn't make any excuses for why, Lupe's not available for a conference, any of that nonsense. He manned up. He owned it. He ate it. He swallowed it. And he dealt with it like a dude. And for that reason, I feel for the kid.
I want to feel for him. And I think death threats.
You're heartless.
No, I'm not. I have a huge heart.
I don't think you do.
got measured. It's enlarged. They got to watch it. Anyway, no. Here's my issue with it, though. The trade-off is he took 0 hits this season.
Yeah, because he was great.
No, because he's a kicker, and you're not allowed to hit them. So
you mean hard. Physical? I'm probably sorry.
Right. The other 52 guys at some point took contact. The part that makes football hard. Right.
I mean, he's no different than any other
So here's the trade-off. When you get a 44-yarder, make it.
I agree.
Because you don't get tackled. You don't block.
By the way.
Make it.
And by the way, it wasn't like it hit the upright. It wasn't like there were 80-mile-per-hour winds. It was, and this is what I like about this kid. He goes, we call it hitting it thin. I hit it thin. It's on me. The snap was good. The hold was good. The timing was right. I picked the worst time of my life to have the worst kick of my life, and it cost the Baltimore Ravens an opportunity to make the playoffs and maybe win a playoff game. Now, if I'm Baltimore, Lamar Jackson's coming back to be my quarterback, but I am looking for a new head coach.
Oh, yeah?
I am looking for a new head coach. Like, at some point, don't we acknowledge if you're going to take shots at Lamar, don't you have to take shots at Harbaugh?
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
Like Derrick Henry ran for 130 yards in the first half. He had 3 carries in the second half. And I know they scored a bunch in the second half, but for me, Harbaugh's got to go.
It's going to open up Pandora's box, but I will say this. I do believe players that sign now, like Najee, should not be eligible now, but should have to sit out and come back in next year. It's just a slippery slope. And I agree with people like Tom Izzo. I don't like it at all.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Sometimes those coaches do get the axe regardless of what the owner said just a few short weeks ago. And sometimes, Joe, you can't have it both ways. Like a Jets fan, you probably want them to tank. They're doing a really good job of that by not even being competitive at this point. But at the same time, you sort of want it to be, we're not competitive winning games, but it looks like we have a future. We might have found our quarterback. We got a good foundation. Nothing is going right.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
I mean, they couldn't get the Arizona State coach to come out. They couldn't get the BYU coach to leave their job. I mean, it's just very odd, I feel, when we watch this whole thing play out and try and really understand what happened here with Michigan not being able to make some of the splashier hires that they thought they were going to be able to make.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Crosby has now left the team, by the way. He's pissed. Anyway, look at he's angry. He wants to play. He doesn't like what they're doing here. There's all sort of speculation.
This might be the final straw, George, for him there.
Like, I don't know why he stays.
Yeah, I know. The thing is, he's got a Raider freaking tattoo. Like, the guy loves the Raiders. Like, he really does love playing for the Raiders. But and now, like you said, he's not happy about this.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Tyrone Johnson here as well. We got to talk about your Eagles because I'm watching that game yesterday. As you know, my wife, my in-laws are big Eagle fans, and there wasn't a lot to play for other than seeding. Obviously, they'd already clinched the division, and I didn't realize that they had announced, or maybe they didn't announce.
No, he announced it.
I guess I wasn't paying much attention on vacation about the announcements on how many teams are going to be sitting players or whatnot. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying to myself, the Eagles are sitting everybody? Well, that gave me a chance to see Tanner McKee. Tanner McKee, a guy that a lot of Eagle fans have been telling me all season long is a better option than Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
You've heard that, obviously, in your hometown.
Unfortunately.
You never subscribed to it, but you've heard it.
Yes,
We brought it up on this show, and I'm like, you got to be crazy to tell me that Eagle fans actually think Tanner McKee is a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. Well, You saw Tanner McKee yesterday. I think it's fair to say we can put that experiment to bed as to whether or not you think Tanner McKee is a better option than Jalen Hurts to run the Eagle offense, which, again, to be fair, looked just as bad with Tanner McKee as it has for the majority of the season with Jalen Hurts helming it. But here's the thing I don't get. Why in the world did the Philadelphia Eagles not care about the 2 seed? And the reason I say that to you is Chicago gets the 2 seed, so Chicago gets Green Bay in Chicago. The Eagles get San Francisco in Philly. They played each other a couple years ago. It was a game that really shouldn't have counted. Brock Purdy gets hurt in the second play on the Hassan Reddick sack. And then the Niners didn't have a backup quarterback. If you remember that game, Eagles win the game. They go on to the Super Bowl, okay? So it's not a fair assessment of how these 2 teams line up. And obviously, there's a lot of different talent now on both teams. But just play this out for a second. By essentially forfeiting the game to Washington, which is what to Washington, pardon me, which is what they did yesterday, they also now recognize that they get a much tougher, at least in my opinion, a tougher first-round matchup in San Francisco as opposed to Green Bay, number 1. And number 2, if they win their game and Chicago beats Green Bay, you have to go to Chicago in the second round of the playoffs as opposed to staying home as the 2 seed. And then take that one step further. While Seattle's had a great year and they won 14 games and they are the well-deserving number 1 seed in the NFC, I could go back just a single year last year. The Detroit Lions were the 1 seed. They got the bye. They lost to Washington. So there's no guarantee that Seattle would advance their first playoff game. Let's say it's against the Rams,
it's not,
right?
Far from a given.
Far from a guarantee.
Far from a given.
If the Rams beat them and you're the 2 seed, you get the NFC Championship game at home. So explain to me, because I'm not a Philly guy. I don't speak Philadelphian. I don't know what the heck a Jean is.
You know what a Jean is.
All right? I'm trying to figure out.
Many people have said you married a Jean.
I wound up marrying a Jean before they used the term Jean. Because in 1995, no one said Jean in the history of Philadelphia. It's a new word. That being said, why did you guys not care about the 2 seed?
No, it's stupid.
As an organization.
No, it was stupid. It was very stupid. But the argument being made is they've had a lot of injuries and guys have been playing hurt. Perhaps more hurt than they've been sharing.
Well, the offensive line for sure. Okay, fair enough.
And the thinking is they needed this rest. And this rest, this is the argument. I don't agree with the argument. I'm saying the argument.
Tell me the argument.
That the argument is the rest and being healthy for the playoffs is more important than worrying about where your games or your opponent.
I disagree with that. And
he also will say that he believes his team, this is what he believes.
Who's he?
Nick Sirianni.
Go ahead.
He ultimately made this decision. Howie Roseman did have to sign off on it, and he has done it in the past. If my team's healthy, I can beat anybody, anywhere. If my team's not healthy, it won't matter where the games are.
I mean, I think every team probably feels that way. And look, Lane Johnson hasn't played in over a month anyway. So I'm not saying Lane Johnson had to play.
You could have played a couple of guys and won the game and got to 2 seeds.
But you're playing up against a 40-year-old journeyman quarterback, right? Like, to me, the 2 seed's valuable.
It's very valuable.
It's valuable for multiple reasons. It's valuable for who you play in the first round. It's valuable if Seattle gets knocked off. It's valuable for who you play in the next round, the divisional round of the playoffs as well. Look, you want the easiest road possible to a Super Bowl.
Of course.
Anyone that tells you otherwise is just lying to your face. Nobody wants the hardest road possible. I don't want to play the greatest teams. I want the easiest road. Because 10 years from now, when you look back and go, hey, did your team win a Super Bowl? Yeah.
Yes.
No one talks about how easy or hard the road was.
Doesn't matter.
They just talk about, did you win? And I, for the life of me, cannot figure out why Jeff Fleury, the owner, Howie Roseman, the GM, or Nick Sirianni, the head coach, or for that matter, Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. I know Devontae played to get to 1,000 yards, which he did, and then came right out of the game.
I mean, that play came out of the game.
Yeah, and so I don't understand why you have devalued the number 2 seed. I didn't get it. I don't get it. I'll never get it.
It was not smart, But what has to happen now for him to be vindicated is
you got to get to the NFC Championship game.
You get to the NFC Championship game and you're playing at Seattle, for example, you go, hey, we'd have been at Seattle anyway.
Yes,
That's
that
the
one
only
you
way.
can accept. But if Seattle gets knocked off, and if they play the Rams, I would take the Rams. I'm just telling you that right now. And if the Rams beat them, and you guys are on the road in Chicago, and if you win that game, which would be a tough game,
then it would be back home.
If you beat Chicago, then you'd be back home
for
against the Rams.
Yeah.
But man, devaluing that home field advantage, devaluing the opponent you play is frankly typical Philadelphia. It's typical Philadelphia.
Typical Philadelphia.
And I can't believe you guys don't care about it.
We do care about it. People care a great deal. They're
all
angry about
I heard
it.
all week long was we finally get to see Tanner McKee, the rightful starter in Philadelphia. And when Tanner McKee shreds Washington, everyone's going to realize that we don't need Jalen Hurts, and we're going to trade Jalen Hurts so that blah, 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 blah.
Well, those are morons.
Morons.
Those are morons.
That's right. Morons in Philadelphia. Tyrone Johnson said it. I just doubled down on it. Yeah. A bunch of maroons out there in Philadelphia.
Now, real fast,
telling
Chris.
me that Tanner McKee's better than Jalen Hurts.
I don't want to cut you off, but we have some breaking news. The Raiders made a move at head coach.
A big shocker. The Raiders fired Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
Yeah, a shocker. Didn't see that coming.
Well, it
Who
happened.
thought that hiring a 72-year-old guy where the game had passed him by, who thought that Geno Smith was worth $100 million, was the right guy to lead an NFL franchise. What's interesting about Vegas is that Tom Brady has made it clear who he wants running that franchise.
Oh, yeah?
That's right. He doesn't have a head coach, but he's got both coordinators locked in.
Really?
Yes, he does. I'll tell you who they are in 2 and 2. In 2 minutes and 2 seconds. That's when you find out who the Raiders want.
Like Alabama, right? Is there a team that scores more than Alabama? No, right? But they're actually an under team over the last couple of years because their numbers are so high. You get these Americans in Queens College or Denver. Who the hell's betting on them, right? No, but so the lines stay low. They're just like, no one's hopping all over them. But every time you see an Alabama game, you're betting over, but you're losing money because the numbers are so big.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
He's out again. Anthony Davis is injured once again and is going to miss time with the Dallas Mavericks for a minor groin strain. Likely will miss a few games. And I don't even know what a few games is to Anthony Davis because Anthony Davis seems to always be missing time.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
I mean, they couldn't get the Arizona State coach to come out. They couldn't get the BYU coach to leave their job. I mean, it's just very odd, I feel, when we watch this whole thing play out and try and really understand what happened here with Michigan not being able to make some of the splashier hires that they thought they were going to be able to make.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
I know exactly what Patriot Nation is screaming this morning. It's Drake May time. Give him the trophy. MVP. Stop it, please. Just sit down. Yes, Drake May has had a nice season. But let's be real. He has played a JV schedule of defenses. He is carving up the easiest slate of defenses in the NFL this season. Congratulations on your beatdown of the Jets.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. So here's the rumor out of Vegas. Tom Brady is also the guy that supported Pete Carroll coming in to be the head coach. So Tom Brady's got to eat that one. That's his first loss as a team owner. But I like the new idea, to be honest with you. He's got two guys he wants to bring in. He wants to bring in Brian Flores to be the head coach and oversee the defense.
Okay.
Brian Flores, as you might remember, was in Miami when the Dolphins actually tried to get Tom Brady out of retirement to come play quarterback for them. So they have some kind of relationship. And we've all seen what Brian Flores has done in Minnesota with that defense. He's a great defensive-minded coach. He wasn't great in Miami as head coach, but if he's just there to really run the defense, great. And he wants to bring Brian Dable in. to be the offensive coordinator. Now, Brian Dable's going to get a bunch of interviews, and Brian Dable, if he wants to be an offensive coordinator and not just sit home and take a check, will have, I think, multiple opportunities. But that would be interesting to me. Brian Dable to work with, assuming it's a certain quarterback from Indiana, right, who the Raiders are most likely going to draft. Number one, Brian Dable is the guy that, kind of built up Josh Allen. Brian Dable is the guy that saw something special in Jackson Dart. So his positioning as a quarterback guru, I think, is well placed, right?
Yep.
So he runs the offense with Mendoza, a rookie quarterback, and Brian Flores, while you might appoint the defensive coordinator, oversees the defense as head coach. That would not be horrendous.
No, it would be an upgrade.
A lot better than Pete Carroll.
It would be an upgrade. And the other part about Flores is he didn't get to finish fully because of the lawsuits and the issues. We don't actually know about him as a head coach. There might be a lot of potential there that was untapped that he never got an opportunity to really follow through.
He's also the guy that didn't want Tua, quite famously. He wanted Justin Herbert down there in the worst way and got outvoted by the former GM and Steve Ross, the owner. So if the Raiders can get those two guys and you're a Raider fan, I think that's a coup. I think that's a good job. The thing that I least like about Black Monday, as it's called, all the coaches get fired. Raheem Morris got fired yesterday. Pete Carroll just got fired. Kevin Stefanski, Cleveland Browns, has been fired. People think he's the front runner now for the Giants job. Just like real quick, if you're a Giants fan, and if you blame some of the nonsense in Cleveland just on Cleveland and on the Browns organization, and you want to take a look that Stefanski is not a one-time, but a two-time NFL Coach of the Year, did go to the playoffs and win a single playoff game. Okay, great. Wouldn't you kind of feel like same old, same old? Like, I've started to take a look right now at the names that are being mentioned already as guaranteed getting interviews. All right? It's the same dudes every year.
Over and over.
So this year it's Matt Nagy.
Yep, he's already. The Titans definitely have him on the list.
Titans have already guaranteed that. Steve Spagnuolo, Titans again.
Also,
and a number of other teams have said they have an interest more in Nagy than I've heard in Spagnuolo out there in Kansas City. And I'm looking at it like, is there nobody new? Why is it the same 5, 6, 8, 9 guys every single year? Those guys failed. Now, if you want to give me a guy that only had one crack at it, and like a guy like Dable, and you think just bad situation, bad personnel, bad franchise, whatever it might be, that guy can be a good head coach, and I would bring him in. I respect that.
Okay.
But the guys that have had multiple opportunities with multiple franchises, there's a reason those guys typically don't pan out on their third, fourth, fifth, sixth opportunity. There's one guy, though. There's one guy, if I'm a Giants fan, that I would want to bring in to be my next head coach.
All right.
And I got a Giants fan downstairs it's Monday, so he's miserable. All right?
You've been miserable all day.
All day.
All day.
And by the way, just came back with a great vacation with his family in Florida. Miserable Monday.
Yeah.
Miserable. I think the New York Giants should bring in for an interview and hire. I know you have to interview a minority. You do that. You go through the motions, and you do that. Great. Cliff Kingsbury's the right guy for the New York Giants.
Okay.
Cliff Kingsbury, I thought, did a really good job in Arizona with the nonsense that goes on out there. And you made Kyler Murray a playoff quarterback. People forget about that. Cliff Kingsbury made Jaden McDaniels Rookie of the Year. And Washington went to an NFC Championship game. He's played with, obviously, a half a deck this year, so I don't blame their offensive woes on him. Plus, Washington has the oldest roster in the NFL. I think Cliff Kingsbury would be the perfect head coach for a young, developing Jackson Dart. That's the guy I would hire.
Why? Nagy was only a head coach one time before.
Yeah, he's been a coordinator.
Right, and so is Kingsbury now. Why him over a guy like Matt Nagy, who will probably get a Giants interview?
Because I've talked to a lot of people that watch Matt Nagy in Chicago and watch Matt Nagy in other places. It's a disaster. He's not a competent head coach.
Okay.
You want to make an argument for I'm not going to fight against it? But Cliff Kingsbury is the guy, and his girlfriend's hot.
it's going to open up Pandora's box. But I will say this. I do believe players that sign now, like Najee, should not be eligible now, but should have to sit out and come back in next year. It's just a slippery slope. And I agree with people like Tom Izzo. I don't like it at all.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Sometimes those coaches do get the axe regardless of what the owner said just a few short weeks ago. And sometimes, Joe, you can't have it both ways. Like a Jets fan, you probably want them to tank. They're doing a really good job of that by not even being competitive at this point. But at the same time, you sort of want it to be, yeah, we're not competitive winning games, but it looks like we have a future. We might have found our quarterback. We got a good foundation. Nothing is going right.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
I mean, they couldn't get the Arizona State coach to come out. They couldn't get the BYU coach to leave their job. I mean, it's just very odd, I feel, when we watch this whole thing play out and try and really understand what happened here with Michigan not being able to make some of the splashier hires that they thought they were going to be able to make.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Crosby has now left the team, by the way. He's pissed. Anyway, look at he's angry. He wants to play. He doesn't like what they're doing here. There's all sort of speculation.
This might be the final straw, George, for him there. Like, I don't know why he stays. Yeah, I know. The thing is, he's got a Raider freaking tattoo. Like, the guy loves the Raiders. Like, he really does love playing for the Raiders. But and now, like you said, he's not happy about this.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Hi, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Tyrone Johnson here, as always. The results of this past weekend, actually, the teams that you already knew were getting in to the postseason have set us up for a very interesting situation in the AFC. Because let's play a little Q&A here, okay?
All right.
I'll ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
Just give me like a one-word answer, okay? All right, here we go. This will be fun. I'm just checking my handy-dandy notes here. Is Lamar Jackson playing in the playoffs?
No.
No. Okay. Cross his name off. All right. Is Joe Burrow playing in the postseason?
No.
Hold on. Let me cross his name off there. Okay. Is Patrick Mahomes playing in the postseason?
No.
I know. Okay. Cross that off right there. Is Tua playing in the postseason?
No.
Okay. Hold on. Just cross his name off right there. Doop. Got that one. That's enough of a sample size there. So here's my question for you, and you can expand. You don't have to give me a one-word answer, okay?
Okay.
We agree, no Lamar.
No Lamar.
No Burrow.
Yep.
No Tua.
Yeah.
I don't know why I included him, to be honest. No Mahomes.
No Mahomes.
Right?
Yeah.
What's Josh Allen's excuse going to be this year?
You know what they're going to use?
Because Josh Allen, one of the great quarterbacks in football, has had the built-in excuse that as great as he is, he's not Mahomes.
Right.
And we all agree to that. Right. He had the great game in Kansas City. Wasn't his fault. We should acknowledge that. 13 seconds on the clock, and the defense let him down, and he and Gabe Davis had that great connection. He should have gone to a Super Bowl, but he didn't.
He didn't.
Okay? So the excuse has always been, Joe Burrow, right? Joe Burrow. Like they renamed Arrowhead Burrowhead for a minute because Joe Burrow went into there and he beat Patrick Mahomes and he went to a Super Bowl, right?
Yep.
So I'm wondering, for you diehard Bills fans who shut down Highmark Stadium in style, where they blowout win, all right, I'm wondering for you guys, what's the excuse now? What's standing in the way of the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen getting to a Super Bowl? And I'll do you one better because Josh Allen, who I have great respect for, obviously, he's one of the 5 best quarterbacks in football. You could argue he's higher than that. Have at it. That's not the type of show we do, okay? But he did something yesterday, and he did it again in Week 17. And I went back and checked to make sure I had this right. And frankly, I find it disgusting, okay?
What did he do?
So he's got a little consecutive game started streak going on.
He does, 100 and some games, yeah.
He's way away from Eli Manning, but he's on his way.
Right.
170 some odd consecutive starts, which is great considering all the injuries to NFL players and quarterbacks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in week 17, he did something that I kept an eyeball on, and he did it again yesterday, and it's beneath him to do, and it cheapens who Josh Allen is. He put on a jersey.
Yeah.
He put on a helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Bills get the ball for their first possession. Out on the field is Josh Allen. Hut one, hut two, hut. And they run a first down play.
Yeah.
And then he comes off the field.
Yeah, one play.
One play. Okay? And not only does he get the win because he was the starting quarterback, he keeps the streak alive.
Yeah.
That's not what streaks are all about. Streaks are about, did you not just start the game, did you play in the game? Now, guys get hurt. Guys get knocked out in the second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. But when you specifically do something that cheesy, I'm sorry, man. I lose respect for you.
Now, how much, you agree he shouldn't have had to play 4 quarters in a meaningless game. How much does he have to play for you to respect it? A half?
I think you got to play a half.
You play a half?
I think if you play the first half, you're up by 20, and you don't come out in the second half, I get that. I respect that. We're good. You played football. But when you come out and you suit up, and by the way, during the week, they even made an announcement, Josh Allen, good to go for week 18. You saw that announcement.
Oh, yeah. They made a big fuss about it.
I'm like, and you go out for one play to keep the streak alive, then it's not a real streak. Sorry.
That's
fair.
Not. No, that's fair. That's true. And Favre, for the most part, throughout his streak, he had set the one that Eli ended up breaking. He was playing deep in the games the whole time.
And by the way, don't forget what the Giants did with Eli Manning. The Giants sat him, and then the next week started him for Geno Smith.
Yeah. I thought that was kind of cruel.
Like the Giants could have done this.
Right.
They could have done that to Eli Manning. Eli Manning certainly had enough power in the organization
a couple of Super
say to
Bowls.
the guys, just give me a snap,
right,
and then do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
But Eli Manning didn't say that. I'm sure he was pissed about it.
Of course.
I'd be pissed about it. It's my personal record, right? But in Buffalo, and again, I love Buffalo. I love the people of Buffalo. I enjoyed the 7 months I lived in Buffalo. You heavy ladies kept me warm when I needed to be kept warm, and I appreciate that, and I always will. But that was cheesy. And it's beneath you as fans, and it's beneath Josh Allen as a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Now it is. But you did ask a question. You said, what will the excuse
sit back to
be?
that. So now, no Burrow, no Mahomes, no Lamar. What's the excuse now?
Now, he should be the best quarterback remaining, at least in the AFC. Stafford, there's other guys in the NFC. He should be.
Well, I mean, if he's not, then we should stop talking about him.
Well, I agree.
Obviously, Aaron Rodgers in his prime is better,
but this is
we know what Aaron Rodgers is.
Yeah, at this point,
and Bo Nix, to be fair, in a 1 seed, Bo Nix has not been great this year.
No.
Good quarterback.
Right.
And Drake May.
It's 1 year.
Runner-up for MVP to Matthew Stafford. 1 year. We don't know how good he's going to be, right?
Right.
So go ahead.
What they're going to use.
Trevor Lawrence, about time, Trevor. You were the first pick overall 5 years ago. All right.
They're going to use health. They're going to use health.
Justin Herbert, okay.
Yeah.
When are you going to win a playoff game?
They're going to use health and family.
Health and family?
And family, okay?
What family?
After the Eagles lost, where he makes that miss.
Health and family?
He had to go get an x-ray because he's bagged up. His legs are bagged up.
Yeah?
So they're going to use that. Like, had he been healthy, we'd have won it this year.
I don't think that's a thing.
And then the other one, the missus has a baby on the way.
Yeah.
While he's hurt, he's distracted, family. Remember, you mentioned it on the show just last week. The gift to the offensive lineman wasn't from him.
It was from the
wife.
wife.
It was from them.
From them. Right. That's right.
All right, he's into the family now. Big problem.
Yeah.
Big problem. And that's what they're going to use. They're going to use that he wasn't healthy. You don't realize it. When he was getting those x-rays, his leg was broken.
Right.
He was playing through, he was dragging that leg out there. And they'll say, he's got the Hollywood wife. He's got a kid on the way. That's stressful for anybody. Some things are more important than football.
Here's what I think they're going to say, all right? And I'm here for all the smoke because it's comical.
They're really going to say?
What they're going to say when he gets eliminated, if he gets eliminated. Look, and by the way, Jacksonville's a badass team right now. they run the ball well. They've got a rock star quarterback all of a sudden. And this is without Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter ain't playing. Yeah. All right? That being said, I know what the excuse is. I'm here for it. Because it's predictable. And I can't wait for it. The Bills' excuse, and Bills fans' excuse, as they prop up and support, their star quarterback who's never been to a Super Bowl, the excuse is going to be, he doesn't have enough talent around him. It's the LeBron James argument. That's what it's going to be. They're going to forget that James Cook is the best. Well, I guess he wound up with more yards than Henry. I'm not sure if he did after last night.
Yeah, he had the rushing title.
James Cook had over 1,500 yards, right?
Yeah.
You're now going to tell me that, you're good enough, to win double-digit games, but he doesn't have enough talent around him. That's going to be the excuse. They're going to come forward with the LeBron James excuse, which is, he would have won if he had the same wide receiving core that Jalen Hurts has. He would have won if he had the same wide receiving core that blah, blah has. That's what it's going to be. Can't ask Josh Allen to do it all by himself. It's not Josh's fault. Who's his best wide receiver? That's what you're going to hear.
He has a 1,000-yard receiver. He can't use that.
That's what they're going to say.
They can't say it.
They're going to protect him. They're going to defend him. And they're going to blame it on the roster construction. That's what they're going to do. Now, that being said, I've blamed it on that a long time. Because I don't know why the hell they didn't go out and get a great wide receiver to play alongside him. But it's a cockamamie excuse. They're out of excuses. Because there's no Burrow, there's no Mahomes, there's no Lamar. If you are the best quarterback in the AFC, it's time to prove it. And it starts on the road against the red-hot Jacksonville Jaguars, who can't wait for you to come to town. I'm here for all of it.
Let's play a little buy or sell. I think it's pretty evident that despite being one of the best tight ends in the history of the NFL, Travis Kelce's play and physicality and everything, with all due respect, took a big step back. This was easily his worst physical season of all. He just didn't look like himself. Travis Kelce will retire after the season. Buy or sell?
Yeah, I'm probably 60-40 on this that he retires. The only thing I'd say that maybe he returns is because he doesn't want to end the way it ended, not making the playoffs and that sort of thing. But let's just say for Gales that Mahomes, he isn't going to be ready for September or October. Unless they get a really good veteran quarterback, maybe he doesn't want to deal with that either. Go through a training camp and he may not make the playoffs either next year. So I'm probably 60-40. I think he's done. Too bad. Hall of Fame career. I guess good luck with Travis Swift and your podcast with Jason.
I'm buying this. Andy Reid addressing this question this week. Why? He could have just deferred and said, I don't know, we'll see. Fully answered the question about this maybe being his last game. What does that tell you? He knows. Everybody knows. I'm not 60-40, 90-10. I'm on buy. Bo Nix versus Caleb Williams. You'd rather have Nix over Caleb Williams in a dynasty league.
That's a tough one. I think I'm going to go Caleb here, mainly because he has more running ability than Nix. I think he'll also stay healthier than Nix. I might like his receivers more as well. He's got Dunze. He's got you got DJ Moore. You got the good tight ends here. Probably do lean towards Williams here. Not by a hell of a lot. It wouldn't be an easiest choice here, but I'm going to go with Caleb Williams here.
I would agree. It's not that I think that Ben Johnson is a better coach than Sean Payton. I think Ben Johnson is better for Caleb Williams than Sean Payton will be for Bo Nix. I think running is going to be a big part of what Denver does in the future. So there you go. I'll sell.
Fantasy Sports Today. Friday starting at 3 p.m. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Card Show. Black Monday is rearing its ugly head. I've got a list of guys. I know some are going to be safe, but guys that I would suggest that their teams get rid of them to improve their lot, okay?
Okay.
So this is my, I guess we'll call it my hot seat.
All right, the hot seat, yeah.
My guys that should be on the hot seat. I don't want to acknowledge this. There's a guy or two on my list that are safe that, in my opinion, should not be safe.
Okay.
All right, that's where I went with that. Let me just start off with my favorite team, the New York Jets. Aaron Glenn is coming back for year 2. I don't know why. I think you have to recognize when you have a coach that's in over his head. Aaron Glenn is that coach. They've lost 5 consecutive games by more than 23 points in the season. And we went and we did the research. Since 1933, the year they started keeping interception stats, no team in football has ever gone an entire year without a single interception on defense. And I don't know if you knew this or not, Tyrone. In 1933, they didn't pass the ball.
Yeah.
The Jets just did that.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Aaron Glenn, get out of my town.
My gut says Glenn, a year from now, you're talking about, like, man, Aaron Glenn's really grown.
Oh, is that right?
That's what
you
I think.
That's what I'm
I think we're going to do in 1 year.
Because we're going to win 5 games? Woo!
No, I think
All right.
I will say it right now. Jets in the race in the last week, and they go 8-9 next season. Ugh. I said it.
Second coach that should be on the hot seat. I'll acknowledge that the Bengals already came out and said he's coming back. I think it's a stupid decision. Yeah. He hasn't done a damn thing in many, many years, and the team doesn't get any better. Zach Taylor is coming back in Cincinnati. Should be on the hot seat. And look at that seat. It's hot. That's why it's a hot seat.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Next one. I'm not sure if they're going to announce anything yet or not today, but it's time. It's time to get a different voice in the room, a different voice for Baker Mayfield. Todd Bowles, bye-bye. I would get rid of Todd Bowles, won 3 straight division titles, but the fact that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are not in the playoffs this year and had a losing record in a horrendous division, Todd Bowles, you gotta go. Bye-bye. He's the third guy right there.
Yeah, I see him. I'm noticing a trend.
Right there. Hot seat. What's the trend?
We got all the brothers. We got to put on all the brothers on there. The next guy's going to be white, isn't he?
It's
next guy going to be white, isn't it?
White, black.
We'll see. The next guy going to be white, isn't it? What?
Pete Carroll.
See, I knew it.
Gotta go.
He's out of here already.
And he is going.
He's out.
Now, to be fair, we did this list a couple days ago in preparation for today's show. And we figured, let's just do it anyway. So black, white, black, white.
See?
So there you go.
It's a pattern.
All right. The next guy that I happen to be a fan of, and I think he'll be an offensive coordinator again somewhere very quickly, is your former offensive coordinator, Jonathan Gannon, in Arizona.
No, he's a defensive coordinator. He was the defensive coordinator for the Eagles.
Defensive coordinator, pardon me. Jonathan Gannon, you won 3 games. I know it's not your fault. Bye-bye. You got to go.
Yes.
New blood.
And he's the only person in the NFL, if I call him a liar, I don't have to say allegedly. Because there's proof of it. That's why Arizona had to pay Eagles draft compensation.
Yeah, you guys just butt sore about him leaving Philly.
Well, he's a lie. No, about lying. Of course, go get your money. Go get your job.
That's what everybody does.
Don't be a liar.
Okay.
He's the only one that has been found guilty of lying.
Shane Steichen didn't lie?
Nope. Shane Steichen was on the up and up.
Okay.
Yeah, went out there and everybody was like, Shane, thanks for go do a great job. Him, a stinking liar. I hope he never gets another job.
Well, he's going to get another coordinator job, but he's not going to get a head coaching job anytime soon. Here's a one that'll be somewhat controversial. I know people talk about this guy like he's the greatest quarterback coach in all football and one of the young coaches out there. And they did end the season on a winning note, so I'll give him that. But what has Kevin O'Connell done in Minnesota? Like, you guys won 14 games last year and didn't win a playoff game. You let Daniel Jones come into town a few years back and beat you, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out, as good a quarterback coach as he obviously is, and I'm not going to take that away from him, what have the Minnesota Vikings done?
Not a damn thing.
The Packers are in the playoffs.
Yep.
The Bears are in the playoffs. And guess what? The Detroit Lions beat you in a tiebreaker this year.
Yeah.
So you came in dead last.
They're dead last.
In the division. And you're the guy that said, I can do the same thing with J.J. McCarthy as I did with Sam Darnold. That was a bone-dead decision, right?
It was terrible, and you can't complain about the defense. That defense has performed every year he's been there.
Yeah. Now, the last guy on the Craig Carton Show hot seat list is going to cause a lot of strife and anxiety in a city that no longer has professional football because they lost it to a neighboring state. All right? But this was an embarrassing year. An embarrassing year for a team that thought every year was their year to win a Super Bowl. And much like what happened in Philadelphia, there comes a point when ownership recognizes we've done as much as we can do with that guy. And while we respect him and while we like him, it's time to move on. My friends, Andy Reid should be on that. should be on the hot seat in Kansas. Andy Reid should be on the hot seat in Kansas. It's over in Kansas City. It's over.
Now they put 2 cheeseburgers in his hand on the hot seat, so you got to eat those quick because they're medium well right now, the burger, but they'll be well done quick on this seat so hot.
Like Andy Reid still refuses to run the football. They've never upgraded the running back position. They had a chance to do it this past deadline. They've not done a great job with the offensive line. He's a one-trick pony. And you realize, and I know Chiefs fans are going to hate this, but Andy Reid is a byproduct of Patrick Mahomes' genius, not the other way around. And what you realized is, as soon as Patrick Mahomes went down, you haven't won a game. Because Andy Reid is like every other coach in football. Give him a great quarterback, he will win a lot of football games. Give him an average quarterback, and he becomes an average head coach. And that means Andy Reid, while a Hall of Fame head coach, and while a great head coach in the annals of the NFL, Andy Reid is no better than any other quarterback unless he has the best quarterback in football.
Now, I don't know about in the annals, but don't you think, being that Mahomes maybe he's not ready for week 1, but he's going to be ready for, let's say, week 5, that to just break it all up and fire Andy Reid, a Hall of Famer, you might regret it if he was to then go to one of your rivals and then win with that quarterback.
And Andy Reid is making $20 million a year, and he's got, 3 more years on his contract.
That's right.
He's also a 70-year-old man who's not in the best of health, as you know. It's time to part ways. Travis Kelce's not coming back.
Nope.
Mahomes is not going to be ready for the month of September. This is the perfect time to walk away with some self-respect. I would get rid of Andy Reid, but make it a joint announcement so you don't embarrass the man.
Like Alabama, right? Is there a team that scores more than Alabama? No, right? But they're actually an under team over the last couple of years because their numbers are so high. You get these Americans in Queens College or Denver. Who the hell's betting on them, right? Nobody. So the lines stay low. They're just like, no one's hopping all over them. But every time you see an Alabama game, you're betting over, but you're losing money because the numbers are so big.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
He's out again. Anthony Davis is injured once again and is going to miss time with the Dallas Mavericks for a minor groin strain. Likely will miss a few games. And I don't even know what a few games is to Anthony Davis because Anthony Davis seems to always be missing time.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
I mean, they couldn't get the Arizona State coach to come out. They couldn't get the BYU coach to leave their job. I mean, it's just very odd, I feel, when we watch this whole thing play out and try and really understand what happened here with Michigan not being able to make some of the splashier hires that they thought they were going to be able to make.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
I know exactly what Patriot Nation is screaming this morning. It's Drake May time. Give him the trophy. MVP. Stop it, please. Just sit out. Yes, Drake May has had a nice season. But let's be real. He has played a JV schedule of defenses. He is carving up the easiest slate of defenses in the NFL this season. Congratulations on your beatdown of the Jets.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Hi, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. One little college football note for my friends in Indiana, which, by the way, I know is a state, not a city. Yeah. And I also acknowledge on this show that I said the Coliseum instead of the Rose Bowl. I take ownership of both of those things. All right? I'm not one of these guys that denies saying something that was incorrect. I did. But the way you fine people of Indiana, all you plumbers, have reacted to what I said about your inability financially to go to California and buy $400 tickets for the Rose Bowl, I meant it. And I mean it. And I want to be clear about something.
Some of them have said that you were wrong, that they were all in the house
now,
and they all paid and it was
here's
packed.
What's interesting. As Tyrone can tell you, the last 4 months of my life I've spent on this show with Tyrone extolling the virtues of Coach Signetti and the Hoosier program.
Yes.
I'm a fan.
You are a fan.
I want Indiana to win a title. And I said nothing bad about the coach, the team, or the players. I'm rooting for them to win the national championship.
Even in that clip in which they're mad at you, you said that you want them to win the whole thing.
So if you're upset with me because I suggested that people in Indiana are farmers and plumbers and don't have the financial wherewithal to get to California and buy a $400 ticket, shame on you. Don't be so sensitive and get over yourselves. Because clearly I was wrong. 90% of the Rose Bowl were Indiana Hoosier fans.
Yeah.
You guys represented beautifully well. But why so sensitive?
You know what it is? They're used to everybody being nice to them all the time because they have to prepare for this. They've been the little engine that could.
I guess.
But that doesn't last much longer when you're number one wire to wire. They're going to now have haters going forward, and you're not
I'm
one.
not a hater.
No, but they're going to have people who go, yeah, well, we're not just going to love on you all the time.
Signetti's my favorite coach in college football. I love when he got to Indiana, he said, Google me. I win. That's all I do. That's all he's done in Indiana. But I did a little research.
Oh, you did a little research?
There's a reason Indiana has the largest alumni base, apparently, of any Division I college in this country. There's a reason that Indiana was able to have a great showing at the Rose Bowl for their big playoff win a couple days ago. You know what it is?
What's that?
Stupid people go to Indiana.
Oh, see. Oh, my.
Do you know what the acceptance rate is in Indiana? I checked.
I'm going to think it's about 7%.
7%.
15%.
You think Indiana's a hard school to get into?
I don't know. I've always they act like it.
Yeah,
they act like it.
They act like it.
They act like it
because they know why they applied to Indiana. Now I know that Indiana has graduated some very wealthy people, some very smart people, doctors and lawyers and scientists and all that stuff, right?
Yes.
But the acceptance rate at Indiana in 2025, so last year.
Yeah, the latest stats.
You said how much?
15%. I mean,
higher, Bob.
The way they talk.
Higher, Bob.
30%.
Higher, Bob.
All right. 49%.
Higher, Bob.
60%.
Higher, Bob.
70%.
Higher, Bob.
What? 80%.
80% acceptance rate. Indiana is the safety school for all other schools.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, I didn't get into Miami. Don't worry, you get into Indiana. Oh, I didn't get into Syracuse. Don't worry, Indiana will take you. Oh, I didn't get into Boston College. Don't worry, Indiana will take you. Ooh, I didn't get into Wisconsin. Don't worry, Indiana will take you.
Oh, my goodness. Now,
a pulse and 4 limbs gets you into Indiana.
Well, that explains also how they're able to take all these transfers. They don't need to have good grades to go to Indiana. Some of these schools are going, I can't take this transfer. If Michigan that's been a problem. If a kid doesn't have a certain GPA, you can't go to Michigan.
You could go to Indiana. That's exactly right. Indiana says yes to everybody. They're like Somalian daycare centers.
Now, hold on now. Now, I know they took a lot of shots at you. Do you feel good taking a shot back at all those people?
Yeah, I do.
Well, I thought you might.
Because we got 1 million views on the clip, and I acknowledge I said Coliseum. I should have said Rose Bowl. I own that.
All right.
I own it.
All right.
I think I referenced Indiana as a city. It's a state. I own it. I own it. But the vitriol that I have received in the last 4 or 5 days over that commentary, when all I've done is support Indiana football, is crazy. So now we're even. Now I got you back. And now we can let sleeping dogs lay.
Yep, but when they play the 8th, we'll wait till January 8th, and you can go back to rooting for them.
Yeah, I think they have the Friday night game, right? Not the Thursday night game? Do I have that right?
I think so.
Or maybe they played Thursday. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Look, have a great day. We'll do this again tomorrow live on SportsGrid. Check us out on YouTube every day at noon as well. And Happy New Year.